and welcome. In today's session, we'll reverse engineer HP's success. We're the D team. D stands for Digital Home Education for Entrepreneurship and Technology. And today, we'll go on an entrepreneurial journey to figure out why HP became so successful. You might have heard of HP because of its numerous products in the market today, like desktops, laptops, and printers. But HP wasn't born yesterday. The story of HP goes back to 1938, and for that, we'll have to travel back in time. So let's go over the company's timeline. In 1938, William Hewlett and David Packard started their business in a one-car garage, and they had only $538 to begin with. They were working on building audio oscillators that came out of their research while working at one of their professor's lab in Stanford University. And to their surprise, Walt Disney was their first customer, buying 8 oscillators for the new film Fantasia at that time. HP was only supposed to grow from that point. In 1947, HP got incorporated. Dave became its president and Bill vice president. And HP stood for Hewlett and Packard. In 1957, HP goes public and provides stock option to its employees, which was totally unheard of in the day. In 1962, HP makes to the list of Fortune 500 companies, and the story doesn't end there. In 1975, HP becomes a global company, and in 1993, it sells its 10 millionth LaserJet printer, following which it was marked by a period of lot of acquisitions and mergers. And finally, in 2015, HP breaks into 2 branches, one HPE that retains the cloud, services, and data storage business, and the other HP Inc., which retained most of its printer and computer business. So let's reverse engineer HP's success. There are 4 elements to it, and we'll deep dive into each element. So the story of HP starts with 2 fateful events. Number 1, both Bill and Dave decide to go to Stanford University in 1930. And in 1934, in their senior year, they go on a camping trip and become good friends. And here they discuss the idea of starting their own company. But also remember that 1934 was a period of Great Depression. ये बड़ा ही मुश्किल वक्त था. So they both decide to put their ideas on hold and दोनों अपने अपने रास्ते निकल जाते हैं. तो Packard goes to GE or General Electric, which was a big company at that time, to work as an engineer. And Packard का experience at GE was quite critical. Why, you ask? Let's find out. So GE was an old company and they had this management by control principle. So subordinates were given instructions and they were supposed to execute those instructions as it is. वो पूछ नहीं सकते थे कि इसका objective क्या है, how is this fitting into the big picture of company's vision. They were just supposed to work as robots. So this kind of gave a sense to Packard ki how a good management should look like and what qualities should a good manager have, or a good leader or a good entrepreneur should have in their company. And the second was, working in a big company like GE, Packard got the opportunity to work on innovative products, and he also got the chance to manage the development and testing of certain product. That proved to be a very essential experience for his role as an entrepreneur for his own company, which was HP. And on the side, Bill भी कुछ कम तीर नहीं मार रहे थे. He was working at MIT, working on oscillators, audio oscillators, which was quite a hot field at that time, and he was involved in the development of radio technology as well. So what are the key learnings from this element? The first was good management, and what does a good management policy entails for starting a company. So Packard realized that involves trust in people, giving people individual responsibility, joint problem solving, having open communication between bosses and subordinates, and developing employees through education rather than just giving them instruction. And these ideas formed the foundation of a concept called management by walking around, which meant that managers were very accessible to their employees. So you could reach out to the managers easily, you could develop a very good working relationship with them, and they were accessible outside their office. And each employee could determine their own working roles rather than just being given a set of instruction to work on. So let's look at the second element, which is having a good mentor. Bill and Hewlett were lucky to have Frederick Turner, the father of Silicon Valley, as their mentor. And why, you say? This man was a visionary. He had two visions. One, to make West Coast the leading hub of electronics industry, and second, to make Stanford University one of the best tech universities in the world. And you tell me if both these visions came true or not. Not only that, Frederick Turner arranged for Hewlett to work as his Stanford lab on developing audio oscillators, which ultimately became one of the first products of HP. Itna hi nahi, Turner also provides them a lot of contacts of the big players of the non-existent Silicon Valley of that time. Bill and Dave get a lot of business knowledge from Litton Engineering Laboratories that was churning out a lot of innovative products at that time. Turner also introduced Hewlett's oscillator to ITT's Vice President of Research and Development, who offered $500 for foreign patent rights. इस एनकरेजमेंट के बाद बिल एंड डेव डिसाइड करते हैं कि दे विल डेमॉन्स्ट्रेट द डिवाइस इन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ रेडियो इंजीनियर्स कॉन्फ्रेंस इन पोर्टलैंड एंड क्योंकि उनके पास बिल्कुल पैसे नहीं थे सो दे जस्ट रेंट अ वन कार गराज वेयर दे शोकेस दिस. नाउ लक हैव इट, Walt Disney का sound engineer was looking for new audio oscillators and he gets super interested in what Bill and Dave have to offer and he decides to buy 8 of their audio oscillators. So from this point on, they start building models for their audio oscillators and इसका नाम रखते हैं Model 200A. And ये कुछ 25 companies को अपने model का brochure send करते हैं advertising it. And guess who provides them the contact of these companies? Yep, Frederick Terman. This guy also introduces them to the founder of General Radio, who spends an entire afternoon giving them business fundas. तो सेकंड एलिमेंट से हमने सीखा दैट अ गुड मेंटर विल प्रोवाइड रिसोर्सेज, एनकरेजमेंट, कॉन्टैक्ट्स एंड अ पाथ टू गो फॉरवर्ड. Now let's look at the third element, which is the HP way, that focuses on workforce and a healthy work environment. HP was able to attract a lot of talented engineers. Why, you ask? Let's find out. So HP came up with this plan of providing same subsidy on stock purchase to all their employees, which was totally unheard of in the day. Second, उन्होंने एक इंसेंटिव प्लान चालू किया जहाँ हर एम्प्लॉय को एक परसेंटेज बोनस मिलेगा बेस्ड ऑन देयर बेस सैलरी irrespective of the title or position of that employee. And they also came up with a very good health insurance plan, which was the best insurance plan in 1940s. So coming up with such great policies, Hewlett and Packard became concerned कि how will these same ideas pass along generation and generation of their employees that were to come. So they came up with this idea called HP Way, which were some principles that summarized the core ideology and management principles behind HP. So let's look at them. Number 1, we have trust and respect for individuals. We focus on a high level of achievement and contribution. We conduct our business with uncompromising integrity. We achieve our common objectives through teamwork. We encourage flexibility and innovation. Now let's look at the fourth element that helped HP grow because of making good financial decisions. तो HP के शुरुआती दिनों में they faced like a cash flow problem because one of their major clients failed to make a payment. And to solve this problem, they went to the bank to get a loan. Now, one of the decisions they took was to go against long-term debt because they figured that they would be better off surviving a few years of hardship than betting their assets for the long term. HP ने इस situation से ये भी सीखा कि they'll develop products that will make distinct contribution in the industry. इसकी वजह से they could focus on technical and engineering intelligence, excellence and prowess. and make products that were complementary to each other rather than being totally unrelated. They also decided that they could save a lot of money by targeting customers that were not already captured by big existing large corporations. Now, one of the innovative things that they did was to start a research fellowship program for Stanford graduate students. These research students used to do research for HP and came up with some amazing products like high frequency counters that made HP millions of dollars. And not only this, they could also attract these students to work for them as employees. So the key takeaways from HP strategies can be summarized here. Reinvesting profits for new product development is useful. We should not try to take a fortified hill, especially if the army on the top is bigger than your own, and a bridge between industry and research always pays off. So this brings us to the end of this session. Thank you for listening to us today, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you soon.